Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the Euros edition. This is today's host, Deen, and I'm here with my co-host, Coach. What's going on, Coach?
Back again, you know me, at Lobrucci on Twitter. 2 games today. Both really enjoyable for various reasons. So let's get into it, man.
It was supposed to be 3 games, but they shorted us. I don't really like this UEFA scheduling, but I'm sure there's a good reason why. Everything they do makes sense. But in any event, we have episodes on the Euros for every match day so far. So if you're inclined to go backwards with this shit, go listen to Tosin and Coach Wax Lyrical. I've been out of commission. You don't care about that. You care about what was the game of the tournament.
Yeah.
Turkey, Georgia. Coach, I didn't watch it, but I'm hearing crazy things about this. I'm going to go watch it after we're done recording. Why was this a game of the
tournament? I think it lived up to the billing, in my mind at least. I called this as a 3-3 draw on yesterday's episode. It's really, really simple, basic stuff. Both teams can't defend. So both teams can't defend, and both teams have ambitious coaches, young-ish ambitious coaches. Even though I don't really fuck with Willy Sagno, if you guys are tapped in enough, you understand why. He's a bitch. And that's just me putting it mildly. But, they both set up their teams to play in a certain way. And it didn't disappoint. I suppose formation-wise, a team like Georgia is always most likely going to set up with wing-backs. They're not ever going to try and play without a packed midfield, one way or the other, and play with 3 centre-backs. Turkey, on the other hand, because of their attacking talent, I don't think they have any other choice other than to start with, if you like, 4 attackers in central areas, especially when you have someone like Kanahoglu, who at one point last season, he was the best. He might have been the best 6 in Europe for a good 2 or 3 month period. I don't think that's outlandish to say. When you carry that form into... Go on.
I'm just saying. You're right. I heard you.
So when you're carrying that form into an international tournament kind of thing, I think it's only right that you try to, as a coach, try and keep that rhythm. You have someone who can find you with both feet from anywhere on the pitch kind of thing, and you've got good attackers. Play into that. Tournament football shouldn't be complicated. I think the game went how I expected it to. Both teams going for it, but I think, funny enough, I think Georgia were the more patient of the two teams. Turkey kind of, I think, wanted an early goal to see if they can open it up, and they did. I think at that point, that was goal of the tournament, basically. At that point, let me just be clear.
Over the Stanchu's goal from yesterday?
Yeah. It's a volley, like, on a half swivel, like, a volley, like, swiveling half your body to the near post top corner. Oh, come on, man.
I did see that goal. I think you're right. Right.
It was out of this world, like, honestly.
A volley immediately places it above, volleys are special. But in any event, Arda Güler, he was probably the star on the show. Kvaratskhelia, we'll get to him right after. But Arda Güler, how good was he today? I saw he scored a great goal.
Do you know what? Yeah, because he's a because he's a teenager, like, I expect inconsistencies in runs of form in game as well, kind of thing. And they were on display today. But when he did do shit well, he looked like a world beater. Like, they call him the Turkish Messi, and I get it, but I don't think there's any version of Messi, basically, that's not Messi. I don't want to say he's closer to Ozil, but obviously, him being Turkish, I understand those comparisons, but I just think he's his own player, man. He's genuinely his own player. And gone?
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't seen enough of him because I didn't really watch him at front match. Well, I watched the highlights, but that's not the same as watching a full game. We've had a lot of full games of him at Real Madrid, and when he has played as depth for them, he generally just stands out for being very efficient with his finishing.
Yeah,
so far.
So
that's really all I know about him. Like what else do you see in his game, and who is he like? Let's compare him to somebody. That always helps.
Do you know what it's gonna be? It's at this stage of his career. I think I don't want to say they serve similar roles, but you see how Brahim Diaz is an adequate finisher with both feet for Real Madrid as well, and he serves that purpose in their system right now. I think there's an overlap there a little bit. I wouldn't say they're similar players, but I feel like there's an overlap there in terms of the role. He's 19, he's still developing his own game. Like, he genuinely is. But I'd probably say that's where I see him at this point. But there's definitely comparisons there with him and Ozil. I think his off the ball movement is really good at this stage, but I think it should and can be better. He's incredibly intelligent, and I think the technical aspect will never ever be in doubt. He was good from birth, basically. He's one of those players. But yeah, I think as time goes on, he'll figure out exactly what he is and who he is, kind of thing. I would love to see him be like an Ozil regen. I think we're missing those types, but
he already has better ball striking. So
yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. We were talking about, there was a clip from Sami Khedira today talking about Ozil, right? Saying that he's like, in terms of what Ozil's done, he's the best he's ever seen. And obviously, I'm an Ozil fanboy, so it's it's music to my ears. And I just remember a particular quote from Arsene Wenger saying that in training, he pretty much scored whenever he felt like it. He was just that much better than everybody else. And when you talk about ball striking and stuff like that, those kind of things matter when the player is that talented. And I feel that because Arda Güller's doing it consistently already in match situations, the sky might actually be the limit for this kid. I do believe in the talent. I do.
Well, Real Madrid generally don't miss with their talent. So if they got him that early, they saw something. And a lot of us saw the same thing, but I just haven't seen enough of him at the level. But I'm sure we'll see a lot of them. Let's move on to the other Maverick on the other team, Kvaratskhelia. How did he play today?
He was good. I think, put it like this, all of their best chances, it was pretty much him drawing 3 or 4 players to himself and then popping it into the space that they vacated, basically, which is what good players do. It's in the second half, especially, like the gilt-edged chances that they missed. Kvaratskhelia again drew players towards him, put into the box, and they fluffed their lines. If both teams were finishing were better, this could have been a 3-3 or 4-4 for sure. But with that being said, I feel like he was obviously playing up front, 3-5-2. He was playing up front, but he was drifting into the less half space. Had a free role to do whatever he liked. Players around him running into space, whatever is what he thrives on. He wants that so that he can cut into the space, he can find a pass, he can find a shot, kind of thing, and just make things happen. And I think he played the role. He played the role he's supposed to. He's the team's best player. And while he, the strike partner, the guy that got his goal, I've been trying to pronounce his name all day properly.
Georges McCarthy.
Yeah,
plays at
McCarthy. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was in League R last year, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was at Metz.
Yes, I remember. Yeah. But he was really good. He was brilliant. In fact,
I only saw the finish, and I was so impressed. I mean, obviously, it's definitely not the best goal of the game, but the speed with which he sorted his own feet out to finish it at the near post was very impressive to me. That's the real gunman.
Yeah, it's the finish of a gunman, like of someone that knows where the goal is, and it's really refreshing as well. I think the goalkeeper probably should have done a little bit better, but he couldn't react in time. When you put it that low and close to the goalkeeper's feet, it's very difficult for them to react. So you got a hand to it, and I think someone even the very best goalkeepers, they might make that save maybe 3 times out of 10. But I think it was a fantastic finish, and it came from an even better team move. Like, watch the goal back again and see all the passing and the individual action at the end of it. It was a fantastic goal, man. But yeah, I think to be honest, Georgia, commentators talking about they're going to give teams problems. I don't want to hate on them too much, but no, seriously, it's great when you're playing against a team that's closer to your level.
Right.
But you play that shit against Portugal. Portugal are going to blow you away, man. Like they actually are, and so maybe they should probably be a bit more reserved when they do come up against Portugal. But they probably won't be because they don't know how to be. But you don't play that play against Portugal and you don't get blown away. So
I'd be very pleased if they just said, fuck it. Like, I mean, they're there. We don't expect much from them anyway. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Like going there and doing a rear guard for 90 minutes. Come on, man. It's a tournament, man. It's the summer. Have some fun, baby.
Yeah.
Turkey, they're always, well, let me not say always, because they've had some less than ideal generations in the last few years.
Yeah.
What do you make of their prospects moving forward in the tournament? Is this just a game against a really bad team and their defense is just as bad anyway, so they're not going anywhere, but it was a good result?
I'll be honest. I think, they're in a good position to qualify, obviously. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you. Like, they might catch someone on a bad day and they might just, smoke them and put them away. But at the same time, in these sorts of tournaments, if you defend really, really well, you stand such a good chance. And some of the quality chances they were giving up to Georgia today, like against better sides, they're going to not only punish you, they're going to make you pay so badly. They'll have 3 of those chances in the game or score all 3 of them, and then you're chasing the game and you end up losing 5-0. So it's really hard to say. But for what it's worth, they created a lot. 22 attempts. That's in tournament football. That's good. That's good stuff, man.
Indeed. Let's move on to the next game. Portugal went up against Czechia, which is the way we now say Czech Republic.
I'll be honest. Sorry, can I just say something? His mama named him Czech Republic. I'm calling Czech Republic.
Like, listen, man. I remember when they kind of did the switch, sort of the marketing thing where it's like, we now want to be called this. But I didn't think anyone was going to take that serious. But the commentators are saying it, so I guess we got to start saying it. But if they're wondering why they don't have any creative players to actually help them win games in a tournament like this, it's because, it's not because y'all niggas sucked for a long time. Shout out Portuguese, shout out Nedved. Actually, fuck Pavel Nedved. He owes us a Ballon d'Or. Let's get to the game. Portugal, they started out with a 3-5-2, 3-4-3. What was it exactly, Coach?
3-5, whatever the fuck, bro. I was looking at the team. I was trying to figure out what the hell this guy was trying to do. I'm just going to call them fullback FC. How about that? Because I don't know what you're trying to achieve. I saw João Cancelo in the left half space. I just don't understand basically what the fuck he was trying to do, is what I'm saying. But I get you're trying to fit in as many good players as you can. I just don't like the way he went about it. I think Portugal traditionally are a team that, thrives with 3 midfielders. They, to my mind, they always have. Am I lying in saying that?
I think you're correct. That's the heritage. The heritage.
So I get wanting to have Dalot and Cancelo in the team for sure. I also get wanting to have Vitinha in the team along with Bruno Fernandes. But if you have Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, and Bernardo Silva, I'm not being funny, but the creative burden on your fullbacks is lessened so much. So potentially dropping one of Dalot or Cancelo, I don't think it's too bad. And you know what? If you're chasing the game, you can bring one of them on. So
yeah, the whole thing with Rafa Leao on his right foot and Cancelo right behind him in that half space as well, on his right foot as well, both from the left side.
Yeah. Where's the width?
I don't understand why. Because the thing is, Southgate has done something similar with England's left side. But some people might argue that he could have called up someone like Tyreek Mitchell, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He chose to go with players he trusts. But given the limitations he placed upon himself, that's what we get why he's doing it. I don't like it, but I sort of get it. It doesn't work. It will never work.
Yeah.
Roberto Martinez, it just kind of feels as if he has too many toys to play with, and he's just doing shit. Because this didn't really make sense to me. And I think it was reflected in what we actually saw on the field. Because you would expect a game like this, given the disparity in the talent, obviously, Czechia were always going to show up and play a nasty mid-block. Yeah. And God wasn't nasty.
However, I didn't enjoy watching them make Portugal suffer, and I'm not a huge fan of Portugal.
No, it was grim. It was grim. Yeah. I got a lot of work done watching this game. I got a lot of work done watching this. But even so, you'd still expect a team with Portugal's talents, Ronaldo or no Ronaldo, as their number 9, to create way more chances. And it was never really a point in the game where they really got into a rhythm and created chances. And I got to put the blame on them. The deep block was incredible, sure. But given this talent, coach, come on, man. They had to do better.
Yeah, but I think the whole Ronaldo point, I think, is pretty much sums it up. They're still playing for him. I spent the last week talking to people, just everyone, pretty much people at work and stuff, about this Ronaldo problem, if you like. And they're like, yeah, you've got to start him. The captain was like, do you really have to start him? I feel like Ronaldo is at a level where he's finishing will never ever desert him. Whether it's he's heading or he's shooting or whatever, it's never ever going to. And his movement in the box, it's never going to desert him. So why not use him for the last 20 minutes when teams are tired and you've actually got that extra half yard on them? To me, I think that's the perfect way to use him at this stage. even if you're not chasing the game, he can run it up because Ronaldo is good at that. But if you are chasing the game, him being there with tired legs and tired minds, he's probably more likely to score than he is him starting out from the outset and then tiring himself out. So
that like it's interesting. A couple of years ago, I forget which NBA team did it. I think it was the Brooklyn Nets. They were coached by, I think, Steve Nash at the time, and Steve Nash is a football guy. He likes soccer, like the rest of us. Unfortunately for him, he likes Spurs as well, but that's neither here nor there. And he only had a certain amount of time with one of his superstars in the NBA, where superstars matter even more to the team's success than football. And he borrowed the idea of using your really good player that's not fully fit or that you can only have for a minutes restriction, and using him for the last quarter, as opposed to using him at the beginning of the game and saying, well, minutes up, let's put him on the bench. And that's exactly what I'm suggesting, because it originated in this sport. Well, I think the actual problem is that I think the kids on Twitter now call it aura.
Yeah.
The aura of Cristiano, like everyone there is still enthralled to him. And it's crazy because at the last World Cup, we saw that he was basically done at this level unless the team is completely devoted to his whims. And he's not really mobile enough. He doesn't really press. So, I mean, we had this discussion like 2 years ago, actually. So it feels weird to be having it again during a summer competition when Roberto Martinez should have taken the opportunity. He wasn't even there when Ronaldo kind of went down the drain. That was Fernando Santos. And that man did you the favor of making your job easy and dropping Ronaldo before the end of that World Cup. And you still brought him back. And now you have to deal with the problem you've created for yourself. Because that's what's going to stop them from winning. If he has to play more minutes than, say, someone like, I'm not going to say Gonzalo Ramos because he didn't have a good season, but Jota, who came on today and essentially got them the winner, then you're kind of wasting on. I'd rather play a false nine than play Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against the idea, but I think I'm very much of the opinion. I feel like in tournament football, you need to have a focal point. Like the very unique teams that have got away with it, like the Spain teams and whatever, they're like once in a lifetime and shit like that. But even if your focal point is shit, I mean, Castellas in 2004, like he wasn't the best, like God knows who else. Like even look, Portugal won in 2016 with Eder. Eder literally did that, and we never heard from him again. We need
like guys like Dugari, Guivarch.
Yeah, you need just that focal point, and then all your other good players get around him. So whatever the composition is of the midfield or attack, basically get that number 9 in. You can have what do you call it? A winger combination of Leao and whoever the fuck, Bernardo Silva and whoever the fuck. It doesn't really matter. Just have that focal point there and let these guys work their magic. Anything drops in and around that box, that number 9 is there for it. But yeah, I don't feel that. Honestly, he'll be brave, but I think it'll be for the good of the team. Just drop him. Yeah, just drop him. Just drop him. Go to a free midfield, and guess what? You probably find even more space and even more success because you're not now restricted by the movements of this guy because you've got more mobile guys that are going to do more for you, basically off the ball. So, yeah,
man, the power of the ego, man, it's crazy. Bro just needs to go back to Saudi and keep working on his stand, but he's in Germany, ruining his country's chance of winning the tournament. How happy were you, coach, when Provod scored that goal against Portugal after Czechia not having the ball for the entire game, it seemed like?
Honestly, I was just waiting for the shot of Diogo Costa's face because I really hate his fucking face, man. It was, and the fact that he was so close and yet so far, it was beautiful. And I enjoyed those moments for a very, very, very short time because obviously Portugal went and did whatever the fuck they did. But seeing him upset made me really happy. It was a great goal, though. It was a great goal. And it's one of those goals where it's like, it's almost, what's so funny, actually? Going back to the Georgia game, sometimes the way you go behind can affect you for the rest of the game. And the manner of the first goal there, it being absolutely raced into the goal kind of thing, they could have easily shrunk. And you don't really blame them kind of thing, but they kept plugging away. And I have to give credit to Portugal because that was a fantastic goal. And that could easily knock the stuffing out of them. But they found a way to up it and they went for it kind of thing and got their goal. Yeah.
I was going to say the goals came after Martinez made changes.
Yeah.
Now, again, keep in mind, this game was so grim to watch, given what we've seen in the rest of the tournament, that I wasn't paying close attention. But it did not escape my attention that Diogo Jota scored the winner, and the assist essentially came from Neto, even though that Frančić guy, the central guy in Czechia's back three, he just had a bad game, man.
Yeah, no, Diego Jota's actually got disallowed. He got disallowed,
Conceição.
Yeah, it's Conceição.
That little twat.
Yeah. Fuck him and fuck his dad as well.
If they don't, they'll say he said something about their mom.
Oh yeah, whatever, man. but again, you're right about it. You're right about the changes. And this is why I was saying to my friend at work today that I think the most interesting thing about Portugal is who they actually have on their bench, not their first 11. Like genuinely, to me, who they brought off the bench was just like, what the fuck? Jota, Neto, Conceição. Like I was like, you know, did João Felix get on? I don't think he did.
Not even sure, man.
So yeah, like the most interesting thing about Portugal genuinely is who they leave out. Like, you know, I mean, even Nelson Semedo came on for fuck's sake, you know. So yeah, man.
Portugal has all this creative talent, and both of their goals were the most jammy shithouse type goals.
Matthias Nunez, fuck me, like this, it's literally just ridiculous, man.
It's a lot of stars. Like in a sense, I almost can't blame Martinez for messing this up because there's just too many options. Like you know, but at the end of the day, I suppose in some sense, I feel like maybe still having Ronaldo in the team is a way of having an organizing force. Like fuck it, we just gonna build around this guy, you know, because we don't have time to practice. So maybe that's a logic behind it, but ultimately I think it's clear that they're better without him.
Yeah.
But they'll figure it out. The tournament is long. They'll get through this group pretty easily no matter what they put out there. Because like you said, credit to them for not shrinking today, because that goal, it was a perfect smash and grab type game over type situation, and they fought against it, so we have to give them their props. Coach, you got anything else for these people?
Yeah, guys, as usual, like I'm noticing as well, I'm noticing the likes on YouTube and shit. Let's keep doing that shit for us. It helps a lot for real, really, man. So let's keep doing that, interacting with us as well. We all try to, across the platforms, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter or YouTube, we're all on hand to like just answer whatever you guys want to talk about and shit. Like we're just there to talk football, man. So let's keep doing it, man. Let's keep running out, man.
Yeah, and if you want to get famous and you feel like talking to us on this podcast, give us a shout. You know how to reach us. The DMs work.
I think they're really shy because I don't bite. You know what I mean? You know, so Deen might if you're into that kind of shit, but you know,
only on Thursdays. So
yeah, like just give us a shout, man. Whether you want to do it through the official channels on the actual account, if you talk like if you want to shout me or toss in like on our personal Twitters and shit. Whatever it is, we'll squeeze it. We'll find a way to squeeze you in for sure, man.
All right, then. Well, shout out the Euros, shout out you, shout out Tosin, shout out SPS, shout out Believe Network, and we out. Peace.
Peace.
Take your shirt off.